we can play some rock and roll. Hello again to all my friends. Together we can play some rock and roll. Hello again to all my friends. Together we can play some rock and roll. Hello again to all my friends. Together we can play some rock and roll. Hello again to all my friends. Together we can play some rock and roll. Rock and roll. We can play some rock and roll. Hello again to all my friends. Together we can play some rock and roll. Hello again to all my friends. Together we can play some rock and roll. Hello again to all my friends. Together we can play some rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and
roll. This, mash up the place.
People, good times. Right on. Rock and roll. Tim Smith and fun to say. Tim Smith. Yeah. Tim Smith will take you to the mountain. Rock and roll.
You have technicians here making noise. No one is a musician.